What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Wokey Bucks, and I'm back again with another video. So the topic that I'll be discussing in this video today is basically going to be another reaction video explaining why black men and black women do not get along, right? And black men's specific reasons for why they don't like black women from a black woman's perspective, right? So all my reactions are live. I'm going to give you all my opinions to what the woman says. And we're basically going to determine why black men and black women do not like each other, right? In certain situations. Before this video starts, I need y'all to go subscribe to the channel at Wokey Bucks. WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all of these videos that I post. You feel me? We're our family. This is the woke family here. Interact with me in the comments. Right? Interact in the comments. Let me respond to your comments so we can grow as a family. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all basically going to see the screen recording pop up on the screen in a couple of seconds, but without further ado, let's get into this video.
Okay guys, so today the video that we are going to do is controversy. And as I'm getting ready to do this video, there is a part of me that's like, should I just off this camera and go and drink some tea? The last time I did a video like this was a year ago, and when I tell you to this day, I get at least like 5 to 10 hate comments on this video each and every day. So there's a part of me that's a little shook. We're just going to dive into it. I like to keep it real, and I love that you guys are asking me these real and very interesting questions, because I feel like these are topics that, you know, don't get talked about on the platform that much. So, and you guys know that I'm not about like being messy on here. I'm not about throwing shade on here. I'm not about the negativity. I want to keep it positive, but I also do want you guys to feel like you can come to me with anything and, you know, feel like you're supported. And I feel like this is a really important topic, so I want to put it out there and then just start the discussion. You guys can, you know, leave your comments, leave your hot takes in the comment section. I can't wait to read what you guys are going to share, because this is a hot one. It's hot. This topic is hot. So did you know? All right, so the person says, "Hey Maha, first of all, I wanted to say that I've loved watching your videos and being inspired by you. Thank you." And she says, "I've been thinking about this lately, and I feel like as a fellow African woman, you might be able to understand where I'm coming from. I grew up in the church, and I live in the South, so the majority of the churches I went to growing up were mainly white. I've noticed that as a black woman, I am always overlooked. Black Christian men always go for the white women, and so do the white men. Some days I can ignore this, but a lot of the times it makes me feel as though I'm inferior or invisible or overlooked. How do I push past this when it's all around me? Thank you." Okay, girl. So I'm not from the South. I did grow up in the church, though. I did grow up in an all-white church. And I did grow up in like all-white schools. So I feel like I know exactly what I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. So just give you a little bit of background for me. Like I said, went to an all-white church, all-white school. For a large part of my childhood, grew up in like a majority black neighborhood though. So there was that balance. At my church, obviously it was all white and like middle class. So yeah, the white guys at the church did go for the white girls, and that was just something that was expected. I don't think I really expected to get attention from them, and I also wasn't really checking for them either, so I didn't really care. I wasn't really attracted to them, so I didn't really care in that respect. And then in school, my school was kind of atypical. It was a really small Quaker school. And I think the largest our grade ever was maybe 40 students. So it was a really small school. And I'd been there since 7th grade by the time I graduated in 12th grade. So by that time, like everyone's just so close and it's so intimate that there's not a lot of dating within our grade period. But definitely when it came to like the girls that were sort of celebrated and really chased, and you know that a lot of the guys really liked, white and black, they were not black girls. They were like, I know a lot of the black guys really liked the Spanish girls, Hispanic girls, Latino girls, and then the white girls. So like I know what you're talking about, and I know that it can feel like you're overlooked, and I think that's just natural. Like if you're, especially if you are in a place where you're like, okay, I want to date, I want to, meet men.
Let me stop you right there. So let me say this one thing, all right? I'm definitely hearing everything you're saying. Obviously, in regards to what the woman said to you, obviously, like what she messaged you, this is the one thing that you got to understand, right? In the type of society that we live in right now, whether it's through school, whether it's through social media, whether it's through basic public interactions, right? Whether you go to a bank, a grocery store, it doesn't matter, right? You live in the type of society where anything is easily accessible to you through your phone. We live in the social media age, right? The one thing that you got to understand is that if one specific race of men does not want to be with you, right? If it applies to one specific race of men, but at the same time as well too, if you're going to talk about black men not checking for you, if you're a black woman, that's only applying to school. You have to go outside of school where you're going to have a lot more options of black men to choose from if that's what you want. But regardless of the situation, if you're not accepted in one area, you need to go to an area that is going to accept you, right? You need to go to an area that's going to accept you. Just like black men. If you're a black man that doesn't speak with the ghetto slang, that doesn't speak with the hoodness to him, right? Doesn't act like he's from the hood. And black women don't accept you, especially ones that are attracted to those types of attributes, right? Go to either the black woman that will accept you for who you are, or dates outside of your race. You have to be comfortable in your own skin and understand that if people don't accept you for who you are, go to the people that are going to accept you. Simple as that. Let's get back into this video, man.
Then in college, it was very different. I think college was the first place where it was like those barriers started to break down. I think part of it was that undergrad is a very hookup culture. And so like when it comes to just hookups, people don't really care as much about, those barriers, at least at my undergrad. But I think a lot of women did feel overlooked in undergrad too. Like that was something that I would hear from my girlfriends a lot. I see, okay, exactly what you're saying, where it's like the white men like the white girls, the black men like the white girls, and like you just feel like, well, what about me? I'm over here cute too. Like, and this is me just keeping it 100% real. I think a lot of things are at work here. I think one thing is, just from my friends and like black women I talk to, a lot of black women have a very specific type that they like. And like there might be, if you're, especially as you progress with your career or with your education, the pool just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller when it comes to that specific type that they like, that we tend to be attracted to. And then on top of that, for some reason, men of other races, a lot of the times what I hear from like guy friends or just guys who are not black who I talk to, they say, I don't really know how to approach black women. And that may or may not just be an excuse to not, because they don't want to just say, I'm not attracted to black women. But I've had really close friends of mine say that. And I, these are people who I feel like would be honest with me. And then another thing is there's just more white people in general at like just period in the country. I think we're still at like 10%, they're maybe at 60%. So then when you get, again, as you continue to progress in your education and your career, there's just more white people to choose from. And so if you're looking at it as like just a numbers game, if there are like 3 black girls and then 20 white girls, the odds that you would like one of those white girls is higher because there's a wider pool than that you would like one of these black girls. Now that I've swept all of those excuses out of the way, here's what I think is a big part at the heart of the issue. And it's that society at large has sort of painted the black woman as unattractive, masculine, angry, rude.
Okay, so this is the problem I have, right? So I hear what you're saying. I think her name is Maha. I hear what you're saying, but why? Okay, this is my thing though. Why would society paint the black woman as rude, disrespectful, angry, irritable, masculine, all those qualities that you basically named for us right now if the black woman didn't come out and act like that to a certain degree, right? It's always good that in certain situations when you look at or you believe that society's painting you in a certain situation, ask yourself or ask the fellow women around you, what am I doing or what are we doing that is contributing to them thinking that you are acting this way or that you are like this, right? From my basic experience and from experiences that some of my other people that I'm close with have told me, a lot of times the reason why they don't like to deal with certain black women is because certain black women, if not all black women, are combative, right? And that's not even to say that I don't like black women. I do love black women, man. I appreciate my light skins. I appreciate my dark skins. I appreciate brown skins. All of them, all shades. I love black women, right? But that's not to say that a lot of them don't come with combativeness. And a lot of them are raised based off of masculinity. And you even have a certain amount of black women that even certainly believe that guys aren't worth it and that it's best for them to be strong and independent, right? But when you go around believing these things, how can you expect a man that's on his masculine principles to want to come around you and deal with it, right? You have to be honest with yourself. A lot of guys are not going to want to tolerate that because that goes away from the traditional masculinity and femininity that a woman is supposed to have. And if you feel that they'd rather go to a white woman because of that, that's probably because a white woman possesses all those qualities that you don't. Majority of white women, more than others, are submissive. They're feminine. They listen to when a man tells them something without having to be excessively combative, right? And I'm not saying that there aren't black women out there that don't do that, but you have a lot more black women out there that are more combative and masculine and try to fight the man instead of respecting him and what he brings to the table other than financial. And even if he does bring financial, which is the majority of the case, you still don't respect him because you feel like you're equal to him when you're in all reality you're not, right? You have to respect him as the head. You have to respect him as somebody who is of a higher authority figure, but you feel like you should be able to be combative with him for what, right? And that's not to say that in certain situations black men shouldn't give black women a chance. I feel like black men, depending on where they're raised, that determines the types of women that they deal with, the types of women that they date, right? Majority of black men don't grow up in Caucasian neighborhoods, right? Most of us grow up in African American neighborhoods, whether it's in the suburbs or whether it's in the urban areas or in a mixed neighborhood, right? But it just depends on how he was raised, and on top of that as well too, what he's willing to tolerate. But let's get back into this video, man.
Loud, just all of the traits that are not feminine and not attractive have been sort of projected onto black women as a collective. And I think on a subconscious level, that plays a big role in dating and the dating pool and sort of how, male-female interactions go. And then on the flip side, white women throughout history and society have been put on a pedestal as like the epitome of womanhood, the epitome of beauty, the epitome of everything feminine. And so on a subconscious level, white women, and then ranking in order of proximity to whiteness, those women tend to be viewed as like a prize, or, you've attained a certain level or a certain something, whereas black women do not signify that in the same way. And so it's very real. I want to acknowledge that first and foremost. I get what you're saying, that feeling of being like, I'm overlooked, whatever. But I remember I was talking to my dad one day, and me and my dad are really close. We talk, we have real conversations. And so he was telling me that one of, our family friends was saying, a lot of Nigerian girls are starting to marry men who aren't even black, men who are not Nigerian. And he was sort of wondering what that trend was about. And I sort of had to break it down to my dad. And I was like, Dad, a lot of times if you're a black woman at this level, like you're a black woman like me who, went to an Ivy League undergrad and, worked at the White House, worked as a paralegal at a big law firm, then you're, a law student at another Ivy League institution, the pool of black men in general is going to get smaller and smaller as you continue to progress, up those levels. And what happens is the pool gets smaller and smaller, and then what you find is a lot of them are interested in women who, either coincidentally or not, happen to be interested in women who don't look like you. You know, I was telling my dad that, and I said, you know, it's hard because there just aren't a lot of guys that are partners, people who I feel like could be actual partners for me, who are also in my circle and are also black and are also straight and are also men who like date black women. And my dad said to me, well, I don't know the numbers, I don't know the statistics, maybe there aren't a lot, but you only need one. And let me tell you, sometimes my dad says things that just hit me like, this your wisdom. This your wisdom. Like, he said that to me and I was like, that is so real. There might not be many, right? You might not.
See, I think that's also another problem that needs to be addressed, and I feel like it not being addressed causes another problem in the reasoning why black women also feel like they can't find a good black man, right? Because you see a lot of black women hold black men to standards that they don't hold themselves to. And even if they do hold themselves to those standards, at least when it comes to how much they make financially, if a man doesn't bring as much to the table, they can't respect him, right? That's a problem, because the one thing that you got to understand is that a man can offer much more into your life except for things that are in the financial aspect of the situation. And you have to be open-minded to realize that he can offer a lot of things in your life, whether it be physically, spiritually, yourself. But all you can offer yourself is the financial aspect. So we're going to end this video right here. I personally believe it's good to be open-minded in most situations so you can be able to navigate through this matrix and understand the truths of reality and see why certain situations are the way that they are. So if y'all understand what I'm saying, it's because you're woke. But if you do not understand, you're not woke. This is going to be the end of this video. If you like this video, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel at Woke tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below. Social media links will be down in the description below. Make sure you give those a check. Without further ado, it's going to be the end of this video. This is Woke and I'm out, man.